Hello all, welcome again. This is a session on VxWorks interrupts and timers. Please subscribe to our channel if you did not subscribe. So today's topic is interrupts and timers for these emerging embedded systems available. So this is very vital for most of the applications, embedded systems applications. So as as it was in the schedule, we are done with the Tornado IDE task and intertask synchronization and intertask communication mechanisms, then basic IO. Now we are moving on to interrupts and timer. This would be made right now. We will undergo through interrupt service code, connecting application code to interrupts and interrupt stacks, and special limitations of ISR, exception at interrupt level, reserving high interrupt levels, additional restrictions for ISR at high interrupt levels. So, and we'll look at watchdog timers. This session will be made, a special session will be made after this, where we will look bit deeper into the process happening for handling interrupts later on. There will be a special video after this, somewhere in the middle of the series, so that you will get a complete idea how it happens and all inside. So hardware interrupt handling is a key significance in real-time systems, but it is usually through interrupts that system is informed of external events. For the fastest possible response to interrupts, interrupt service routines ISRs in VxWorks run in a special context outside of any task context. Thus, interrupt handling involves no task context switch. The interrupt routines listed in this table are provided in INT LIB and INT ARC LIB. So you can look at the methods, the calls for int connect to connect a C routine to an interrupt vector, context return true if called from interrupt level, and int count get the current interrupt nesting depth, and then set the processor interrupt mask level, then disable interrupts, re-enable interrupts, set the vector based address, get the vector based address, set an exception vector, and get an exception vector. Have a look at all the methods available. Please, even you can check for latest, if at all any latest is available. You need to check into the reference manual of your VxWorks IDE Tornado. Then connecting application code to interrupts is one important thing. You can use system hardware interrupts other than those used by the VxWorks. VxWorks provides the routine INT connect, which allows C function to be connected to any interrupt, the argument to the routine or the byte offset of the interrupt vector to connect to the address of C function to be connected, and an argument to pass to the function. I repeat, VxWorks provides the routine int connect, which allows C functions to be connected to any interrupt. The arguments to this routine are the byte offset of the interrupt vector to connect to, and the address of the C function to be connected, and an argument to pass to the function. You can see in this figure, when an interrupt occurs with a vector established in this way, the connected C function is called at interrupt level with the specified argument. When interrupt handling is finished, the connected function returns a routine connected to an interrupt in this way is called an interrupt service routine. Interrupts cannot actually vector directly to C function. Instead, int connect builds a small amount of code that saves the necessary registers, sets up a stack entry either on a special interrupt stack or on the current task stack with the argument to be passed, and calls the connected function. On return from the function, it restores the registers and stacks and exits the interrupt. You can see in this figure. So you can see there is an int connect with all the three arguments as we showed, and interrupt service routine. So there should be a stack for interrupt also, right? So we will discuss about the interrupt stack. So whenever the architecture allows it, all ISRs use the same interrupt stack. This stack is allocated and initialized by the system or at startup according to specified configuration parameters. It must be large enough to handle the worst possible combination of nested interrupts. Some architectures, however, do not permit using a separate interrupt stack. On such architectures, ISRs use the stack of interrupt stack task. So, if you have such an architecture, you must create tasks that with enough stack space to handle the worst possible combination of nested interrupts and the worst possible combination of ordinary nested calls. You should note one thing, you should see the reference entry for your board support package to determine whether your architecture supports a separate interrupt stack. Use the check stack facility during development to see how close your tasks and ISRs have come to exhausting the available stack space. Okay, we need to use check stack facility. Okay, there are some special limitations. Before getting into it, many VxWorks facilities are available to ISRs, but there are some important limitations. These limitations stem from the fact that an ISR does not run in a regular task context. As discussed, it has no task control block. For example, all ISRs share a single task. See here in this library, you can see library routines. Okay, routines that can be called by an interrupt service routine. So for error number lib, I think some are missing. One specifically is missing called wd lib, where you have wd start and wd cancel. Apart from that, you have all the error number lib, int lib, int arc lib, all the libraries, msgq lib, pipe drv, and select lib, which we discussed previously in our previous video, and then sem lib, that is for semaphores, and sig lib, that is for signals. Kill is the method routine used there, task lib and tick lib. So we should note the basic restrictions on ISRs is that they must not invoke routines that might cause the caller to block. For example, they must not try to take a semaphore, because if the semaphore is unavailable, the kernel tries to switch the caller to the pended state. So let's see the limitations in deeper in 5 points or 4 points. Here are the points. ISRs can give semaphores, releasing any tasks waiting on them. The memory facilities malloc and free take a semaphore. They cannot be called by the ISRs, and neither can routines that make calls to malloc and free. For example, ISRs cannot call any creation or deletion routines. And the third limitation is ISRs also must not perform IO through VxWorks drivers. Although there are no inherent restrictions in the IO system, most device drivers require a task context because they might block the caller to wait for the device. An important exception in the VxWorks pipe driver, which is designed to permit writes by the ISRs. And VxWorks supplies a logging facility in which a logging task prints text messages to the system console. The mechanism was specifically designed so that ISRs could use it, and it is the most common way to print messages from ISRs. So, and the last limitation is an ISR also must not call routines that use a floating point coprocessor. In VxWorks, the interrupt driver code created by the INT Connect does not save and restore floating point registers, which we discussed. But I am emphasizing here. ISRs must not include floating point instructions. If an ISR requires floating point instructions, it must explicitly save and restore the registers of the floating point coprocessor using routines in F, FPP arclib. I did not type it over here. It is small f, small p, capital A, R, C, H, capital LIB. Okay, in this library. And next is important thing is an exceptions at interrupt level. When a task causes an hardware exception such as illegal instruction or bus error, the task is suspended and the rest of the system continues uninterrupted. However, when an ISR causes such an exception, there is no safe recourse for the system to handle the exception. The ISR has no context that can be suspended. Instead, VxWorks stores the description of the exception in a special location in low memory and executes a system restart. The VxWorks boot ROMs test for the presence of the exception description in low memory, and if it is detected, display it on the system console. One example such an exception is the message work queue panic, kernel work queue overflow. This exception usually occurs when the kernel calls are made from the interrupt level at a very high rate. It generally indicates a problem with the clearing the interrupt signal or a similar driver problem. So apart from this, we have reserving high interrupt levels. The VxWorks interrupt support described earlier in this section is acceptable for most applications. However, on an occasion, low-level control is required for events such as critical motion control or system failure response. In such cases, it is desirable to reserve the highest interrupt level to ensure zero latency response to these events. Okay, especially in that critical motion of a robot or critical motion of some work, suppose it's a textile mill controlling. If it is designing something, if there is a latency, then the design may not come properly, the job will not be done properly. So to achieve zero latency response, VxWorks provides the routine called int lock level set. You can see here the system wide, which sets the system wide interrupt lockout level to the specified level. If you don't specify a level, the default is the highest level supported by the processor architecture. Okay. Then we will see at additional restrictions for ISR at a high interrupt levels. So ISRs connected to the interrupt levels that are not locked out, either an interrupt level higher than the set by the int lock level set, or an interrupt level defined in a hardware as non-maskable, have special restrictions. These two are the restrictions. One is the ISR can be connected only with the INT VEC set, and the ISR cannot use any VxWorks operating system facility that depends on the interrupt locks for correction or correct operation. Okay, I repeat, the ISR can be connected only with int VEC set. Okay, the ISR cannot use any VxWorks operating system facilities that depend on the interrupt lock for correct operation. So now the question rises, interrupt to task communication, how does it happen if I have all those? So there are few things which helps us out. It is important in that VxWorks supports direct connection of ISRs that run at interrupt level. Interrupt events usually propagate to the task level code. Okay. Many VxWorks facilities are not available to the interrupt level code, including I/O to any device or other than pipes. You can put it as other than pipes. So the following techniques can be used to communicate from ISR to the task level code. One is shared memory and ring buffers. ISRs can share variables, buffers and ring buffers with the task level code. Okay. Semaphores. ISRs can give semaphores except for mutual exclusion semaphores and VXMP shared semaphores, as we discussed earlier in our previous videos. The tasks can take and wait for. Okay, I repeat, ISRs can give semaphores except for mutual exclusion semaphores and VXMP shared semaphores. The tasks can take and wait for. And the next technique is message queues. ISRs can send messages to message queues for tasks to receive. If the queue is full, the message is discarded, which we already discussed in our previous video. Next technique is pipes. ISRs can write messages to the pipes that tasks can read. Tasks and ISRs can write to the same pipes. However, if the pipe is full, the message written is discarded because the ISR cannot block. ISRs must not invoke any IO routines on pipes other than write method, which we discussed in the pipes in the previous video. Right. ISRs can write a message to the pipes that tasks can read. Tasks and ISRs can write to the same pipes. However, if the pipe is full, the message written is discarded because the ISR cannot block. ISRs must not invoke any IO routine on pipes other than write method. Coming to the signals, ISRs can signal tasks causing asynchronous scheduling of their signal handlers. This thing we will see exclusively how to work with signals later in a special video. Okay. So we finished up to the interrupts. Then most important thing in VxWorks includes a watchdog timer mechanism that allows any C function to be connected to a specified time delay. Watchdog timers are maintained as a part of system clock ISR. Normally, functions invoked by the watchdog timers execute as interrupt service code at the interrupt level of the system clock. However, if the kernel is unable to execute the function immediately for any reason, such a previous interrupt or to execute the function immediately for any reason, what I can say is previous interrupt or kernel state. Okay, if the kernel is unable to execute the function immediately for any reason, the function is placed on capital EXC task work queue. Okay, functions on the TX task work queue execute at the priority level of the TX task. Usually it is 0. The restrictions on ISRs apply to the routine connected to the watchdog timers. The functions in the following table, whatever you are seeing here, provided by the WD-lib library, that is WD create to allocate and initialize a watchdog timer, WD delete to terminate and deallocate a watchdog timer, WD start, that is watchdog timer start, and WD cancel a currently counting watchdog timer. The watchdog timer is first created by calling WD create. Then the timer can be started by calling WD start, which takes a argument, number of ticks to delay the C function to call, and an argument to be passed to that function. After the specified number of ticks has elapsed, the function is called with the specified argument. The watchdog timer can be cancelled any time before the delay has elapsed by calling WD cancel. We will see with a small example. We will talk about creating a watchdog timer and sets it to go off in 3 seconds. Okay, here is the program. Just look at this. We included vxworks.h, loglib.h, wd, lib.h for watchdog timers, and then we have macros seconds of 3 seconds, right? So I put it in bracket 3, and watchdog id my watchdog ID is a variable. So let's try to get into the task. So task void create a watchdog timer if my watchdog ID equal to wd create double equals to null, return error. So then set timer to go off in seconds, print a message to std out, standard out. Okay, so by simply writing like if wd start my watchdog id comma sys clock rate get star seconds comma log msg watchdog timer just expired. Okay, if that equals to error, return error. So as we discussed earlier, no, here what we have done, watchdog timer is first created by wd create, then the timer can be started by calling wd start, which takes an argument the number of ticks. You can see number of ticks, that is sys clock rate get. Okay, number of ticks to delay the sys clock rate get star seconds will give the ticks to delay. The C function to the call, that is log ms is the function and an argument so to be passed to that function. Here we have sent a string argument for std out, standard out. I hope we went through on skywalk towards interrupts and timers. We will see deeper in a session, a special session that was not included in the schedule anyways, for for the people to understand better. I'll make a special session on this signals, interrupts and timers, where we will be discussing about how signals, features of signals, what are all the action courses of actions available in the signal, and we will discuss about methods like sig action, struct sig action, and then registering a signal handler, and then signal masks, some APIs. Okay, then we will discuss about Unix versus VxWorks signals over there, and automatic function restarting, how do we do that, and then signals and exceptions. When it comes to interrupts, we will make about the interrupts and handling an interrupt, the step-by-step methods with respect to the vector table, ISR and user ISR. We will discuss about the handling an interrupt and interrupts and priorities, how they have been divided, and then using int connect, how to connect a system call, and routine built by int connect, and then interrupt stack and interrupts. We'll see separately interrupt to task communication, and then some of the guidelines with the code. Okay, we will see some of the guidelines how for ISR with the code, and then we will see watchdog timer in depth with a special case actually. So like stopping the watchdog timers, creating, we have seen, we need to see that those things we will check in the special video. So thanks for your time and patience, and please kindly subscribe to our channel if you did not subscribe, or share the channel to support more, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.